keep that going. Just keep that going. Oh, yeah. Let me feel it in my bones, baby. Give me some guitar right now. More cowbell. Yeah. That's it. Now we're going to turn this into a rock and roll show. Yeah. You know, man, if you pipe that, just to keep it there. But you know, those great rock and roll bands from the mid to late 1960s and the early 1970s, they weren't the full out, Deep Purple, the Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelins, but what Robin Trowers, but what they were these pop rock bands. And Three Dog Night, Grand Funk, Steppenwolf, they were right there on the edge of they weren't the Stones, but they were these pop rock bands. They were the Guess Who, not the Who, but the Guess Who, right? The Who was like Townsend doing his kicking drums over and all that stuff. But these great pop rock and roll bands, you could sing to the pop song, but you could get some great guitar licks in there and hear some great drums and some just great jamming. And when you went to see those bands in concert, one of the things that they became more rock and roll-ish in concert than they were on the pop scene on Top 40 Radio. But you would hear these things on Top 40 Radio. Now, I have no idea how to turn this thing around here. Do you have any idea how to turn live stream around so we can not get the can you figure out how to, there it is. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there we go. No. Okay, there. Okay, all right. Hey, it's Monday, and we're getting going here. It's the Jesse T Show. I just love that intro, and I appreciate Lee for finding that for me. One of his buddies made that a number of years ago, and it's really relevant. I love it. I love that guitar when it kicks in. That high-pitched sound guitar, just love it, man. It hits it, man. Like they did on Saturday Night Live. Man, we need more cowbell. We need more cowbell. You know who else was some of those bands in the 70s? REO Speedwagon, Toto, Boston. Well, Boston was kind of a rock and roll band. They were very pop, but like Chicago, they could jam. But a lot of these were pop, and these pop rock bands I really liked a lot. Just not the bubblegum pop, like Paul Revere and the Raiders, that kind of English invasion bubblegum pop. But these American rock and roll bands, pop bands, were just great. So anyhow, good to have you along. Saying hi to Ricky Pickney Jr., who's getting a second degree, I believe, in something. Hey, that's good, man. Hey, we've got some good things in store here. We're going to get into the show real quick right now. Normally we goof around for about 10 or 12 minutes, but we're going to jump into it because we got lots to talk about here. But real quickly, download that free app. You can get for Apple and Android. And, of course, you're listening to thepowerofvoices.com. You can catch us there. You can also catch us on AVTV Entertainment live, yes, on our digital broadcasting TV station, where we broadcast live there at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. And you can catch us on a second Facebook site, facebook.com/The Power of Voices, as well as the Power of Voices YouTube live site. You can catch us there too. And we're on Bamboozle and UPeak, and we're on Stream Up, and we're broadcasting right now live on live stream. So we're on live stream right now. So you can just put my name, Jesse Terrero, in, and you'll pick us up on live stream. Instagram and Snapchat. And we do have access to Roku, though we haven't done anything there yet, and Amazon. That stuff's coming here very soon. But I just want to kind of give you a kind of where you can find us, both on the radio, on our global radio network, and on our digital TV network. So today, let's just get into it. It's Monday. You are on the Jesse T Show from 5 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here. Good to have everybody along, and everybody's with us, watching and listening. It's a great show today. We're going to talk. We're going to kind of talk about some stuff here that's bugging me. It's just bugging me all weekend long. before we just get into this, I want to say, hey, I got to tell Lee something real quick. Lee, I got into the Taste of Soul. I got into the Taste of Soul. I know you went down there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I
drove around for 45 minutes and couldn't find parking anywhere.
I know you were there.
See,
man.
you know people in low places. I don't.
Well, the lowest places I could go, I did the
show
the
off.
press pass, the AV Entertainment Live
Show
press pass,
off.
right? And then I did the City of Los Angeles Sun Valley City Council board member pass.
Yeah,
right,
see,
right.
You're
right,
a PC,
right,
a privileged character.
Right. And then I did. This was for something later. then I did the Los Angeles Police Department for NVR radio and NVR paper. The Los Angeles Police Department and Mayor of Los Angeles signed these great press media pass, which only 800 people get.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I just flashed the microphone, AVTV Live.
And that just got you in.
Yeah, and I just kind of drove right behind the Sentinel newspaper, parked there where everybody was parked. Hey, and by the way, I want you to know, I had free chicken, free cornbread, I had free beans, I had free sausage.
See, that's
I
not
had,
right, man.
I was backstage. I was one of the greatest. This guy was just kicking butt on gospel. I swear to God, I'm going to become a Baptist Christian. That's it. I was doing this on stage like the Blues Brothers. I was like, it was just great. You can catch it on Facebook.com.
That's not right, man. I
Jesse
drove around for 45 minutes. We couldn't find a space nowhere. We got frustrated and ended up leaving and ending up at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yes, having biscuit and grits.
Yeah, man.
Well,
it was good,
but I was eating.
Yeah,
I was eating some good barbecue,
and it was free. I had to pay for mine. That's pretty jacked up, man.
Hey, the Brown Beauty's on duty. You now enter the world according to Torero. It's all encompassing, everywhere, on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world. Bam! You're straight on the point today. Good to have you along. Let's play that video here right now. We're gonna dump some audio on you for those who can't see it on the Facebook stuff. But go to our YouTube live site or our Facebook.com/thepowervoices.com. I believe you can see it. But check it out. This is a video about Benghazi. You might start it over again for a second. It's Trace Gowdy.
We will not waver.
Talking
in our
about
commitment
Benghazi.
to see that justice is done for this terrible act in Benghazi. And make no mistake, justice will be done. That was the President of the United States over a year ago. We're investigating exactly what happened. But my biggest priority now is bringing those folks to justice. That was the President of the United States over a year ago. No one has been arrested. No one has been prosecuted. No one has been brought to justice. We don't even have access to the witnesses. You and the media were good enough for my 16 years as a prosecutor not to tell me how to do my job. And so far in Congress, y'all have been good enough not to tell me how to do my job. I'm not telling you how to do your job. But I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you can't answer these questions, then I'll leave you to draw whatever conclusion you want to draw about whether or not the media has provided sufficient oversight. Can you tell me why Chris Stevens was in Benghazi the night that he was killed? Do you know? Does it bother you whether or not you know why Chris Stevens was in Benghazi? Do you know why we were the last flag flying in Benghazi after the British had left and the Red Cross had been bombed? Do you know why requests for additional security were denied? Do you know why an ambassador asking for more security days and weeks before he was murdered and those requests went unheeded? Do you know the answer to why those requests went unheeded? Do you know why no assets were deployed during the siege? And I've heard the explanation, which defies logic, frankly, that we couldn't have gotten there in time. But you know, they didn't know when it was going to end. So how can you possibly cite that as an excuse? Do you know whether the president called any of our allies and said, can you help? We have men under attack. Can you answer that? Do any of you know why Susan Rice was picked? The Secretary of State did not go. She says she doesn't like Sunday talk shows. That's the only media venue she does not like, if that's true. Why was Susan Rice on the 5 Sunday talk shows? Do you know the origin of this mythology that it was spawned as a spontaneous reaction to a video? Do you know where that started? Do you know how we got from no evidence of that to that being the official position of the administration? In conclusion, Congress is supposed to provide oversight. The voters are supposed to provide oversight. And you were supposed to provide oversight. That's why you have special liberties, and that's why you have special protections. I am not surprised that the President of the United States called this a phony scandal. I'm not surprised that Secretary Clinton asked, what difference does it make? I'm not even surprised that Jay Carney said Benghazi happened a long time ago. I'm just surprised at how many people bought it.
Okay, all right, so check that out now. That was Benghazi. That was Gowdy getting up there and preaching some heavy-duty words there about the press and the lack of the press, the free press, exercising their First Amendment to be the watchdogs of our society. The free press, that's why we have the First Amendment. They were to be the watchdogs of our society, the watchdogs of our government, the watchdogs of our military, the watchdogs of our society. Unlike anywhere else in the world, they do not have a First Amendment in their constitutions. Nobody does. We do, because our founding fathers knew that they didn't want absolute power to corrupt itself. Absolutely. They didn't want a European type of government. They didn't want a globalized type of government that was running the whole rest of the world under Spanish rule, under English rule, under French rule. They didn't want that historic precedence to take place in this new country. They gave the people rights. They gave the people the rights to be the watchdog of our society. And that's what the press was about, free press, to investigate, to ask the hard questions without being thrown in jail and incriminated, like they do in Russia and China, in Iran. The free press was given the right to be able to dig hard, because that was us. The free press represents us. We were able to get the information that the journalists and the people that were doing the digging, oftentimes in very dangerous occasions, but nevertheless, they had the First Amendment, the right of the free press, which now includes radio, which includes TV, cable, internet, which includes texting, which includes everything in communication. See, we had the right to do that. Why don't we exercise that right? Why is the free press, why is mainstream media not covering this political process? Why is mainstream media in the last 5 to 10 years kind of just become an entertainment zone? Why has mainstream media become more opinionated and has more commentary? What happened to the originals? What happened to guys like Edward R. Murrow? What happened to people like Walter Cronkite? What happened to journalism of that nature? What happened to the finest journalism schools in America, like Northwestern University and USC? Why are people not asking questions? Why are they taking the softball angle on everything? Are they so worried about their $250,000 to $1 million a year job? Yeah. You see, our journalism has betrayed us. Our media has betrayed us. They have betrayed everyone in America. Mainstream media are almost on the border of treasonous. They have given up what they have given the right to do. It's almost religious what they have to do, and that is be the watchdogs of our society. This is what makes our presidents have to answer, and our Democrats and our Republicans, they have to answer. This is what makes our mayors have to answer This is what makes people have to answer, to know that there's someone watching them. There's someone that's going to question them. There's somebody that has the right to make the hard question, to dig, to keep digging until they find the truth or the thing that's as closest to the truth. And the only way you get to the truth is to dig and question and dig and question. And our media is not doing that. Our mainstream media has sold us out, in my opinion, in the last 20 years. I mean, we've got this big debate coming on this week. And we have the great questioner, the guy who's like the heir apparent to the supreme, the primo, the best journalist, Chris Wallace. Where's his dad? He passed away. But where are people like that? Mike Wallace. What about the gentleman who was the first? He was the first African American anchor on Fox or on CNN. Remember him? Remember the hard questions he used to ask? He didn't pull any punches. I remember watching him, and I would go, when CNN first came on, I would watch him, and he'd be grilling somebody on right there in an investigative report, and it was like, oh, yeah, zzz. What happened to guys like that? What happened to people that investigated Watergate? What happened to people? What happened to our journalistic ideologies? It's all turned into opinion and commentary. It's all turned into entertainment and who has the prettiest face and who looks the cutest and who has the blondest hair or who has the most light complexion or who's the tallest or who looks great in a dress or who looks great in a suit or whatever sexual persuasion you are or whatever racial persuasion you are or whatever religious persuasion you are. What happened to people that just wanted to be journalists? That wanted to do that, that wanted to make sense and find the answers. And it doesn't just have anything to do with ratings, baby. It doesn't have, because we've sold out to the ratings. The ratings are a side effect to what the choices were made. And the choices were made, as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't want us to know as a public. They don't want us to know the secrets. They don't want us to know the inside. They don't want us to dig. They don't want us to find out the Watergate issues like they did in the 1970s. I mean, Nixon, what he did in Watergate makes what Clinton is doing right now with all these email releases look like a kindergarten guy. But why is nobody questioning this? Why is nobody attacking our politicians and holding them completely accountable? Why is that? Entertainment. The American public doesn't want to know. Because if the American public wanted to know, when the American public wants something, when the American public is moved, when the American public makes a decision as a group to get something done, something gets done. World War I, World War II, the end of the Depression, the bombing of the trade towers, the fight for 10 years. When we're moved as a people, we get something done. They're fighting up there right now in North Dakota and Montana, this pipeline that's supposed to come through the Blackfoot Nation and the Sioux and Lakota Nation reservations. They're fighting that right now. Because if that pipeline breaks when they build it, and some will say, well, that's a Republican thing. Were you fighting against oil? No, I'm fighting against drinking water. Okay? Forget the oil. Forget your political persuasion. You got a 6-foot diameter pipe that's going to have PSI in it, pumping millions and billions of gallons of crude oil down from Canada and from America across the tributaries and the rivers and the lakes of Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota. And all of that water feeds the upper Missouri. And you know what the upper Missouri turns into? The Mississippi. And you know what the Mississippi turns into? Feeding water to almost a third of the nation. And also, under the Mississippi is the largest aquifer in the North American continent. There's something like 600 trillion gallons of water. When the icebergs in the last ice age drove back and cut those Great Lakes, and they melted, they also dropped trillions of gallons of water at 400, 500, 600 feet deep, 1,000 feet deep. There's so much blue, fresh water there. It's unbelievable. Why do you think the breadbasket of America is the heartland? That's because the dirt and the water. And we want to destroy that? We want to take a chance? You got pipes bursting all over the country. Now, why is the media not covering that? Why is Western media and mainstream media not covering that? You've got 1 million indigenous people out there. Every Indian nation in North America and Canada are out there on horses, facing off people with guns, federal and state officials. We're about ready to rip off the Ute Indians in Utah something like 1 million acres because we want to drill for oil in Utah. Because Utah was underwater at one time. You know, in Utah and Wyoming, they have some of the largest dinosaur enclaves and bones. Because that was all underwater at one time. And it was vegetation, and then underwater, then vegetation, and underwater as the earth grew. They're trying to rip off and take almost 1 million acres of the indigenous people in Utah, their land. And this is some of the most gorgeous land you've ever seen. It is pristine. Why isn't the Western media covering that? Where is real journalism on TV? Yeah, it doesn't get ratings. Sure, that's what Craig says, my buddy. It doesn't get ratings. But we got to do something about that because it can't all be just about ratings. And the reason why it's all about ratings is because the Saudis own Fox. The reason why it's all about ratings is because the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds own NBC. The reason why it's all about ratings is because the government is so corrupt and the corporate aristocracy has bought everything out. And the reason why it's all about ratings is because we Americans, 370 million of us, don't even understand how far journalists have gone off the edge. Why are we left with these kind of candidates? I can't stand either one of them. I just can't stand the woman more. Because she's a liar. It's that simple for me. But Trump ain't he ain't no perfect person here. He's a sexist. He's got hands like octopuses. And when I was at the Taste of Soul Festival this weekend, I wish I had hands like octopuses. They had so much great food. Oh, man, the food was great. I couldn't shove my face with enough food. In fact, I was so proud of eating all that great, free, tasty, home-cooked food that, yes, yours truly, the power of voices got. Nobody else. Yes, I could, man, I wish I had like 6 or 8 hands. I would have took a bag of food home. They said, you want to take some food home? I said, oh, no. Well, maybe my friend Lee would want some food.
Yeah, you didn't bring me a plate, man. No plate. That's bad, man.
Even Charlie Rose has gone bad. I mean, this guy used to be like on the edge and ask the hard questions. Now he's gone Hollywood. Like Kool and the Gang. Hollywood's gone swing and Hollywood's got... Hey, what you got to say? Remember that song? What a great song that was. Love that song. But where's the mainstream media? Now you think about Benghazi. This is just the latest of them all. We don't hear too much more about Benghazi in the news because there's so much other stuff that they want to cover, which is just trivial crap. It's just crap. You know, you got the Russians coming down into the Middle East, right? You've got terrorists attacking other parts of the world. You've got debt service that we can't service anymore. We don't make enough money in this country to pay off our debt. We're really upside down. I mean, look for a bankruptcy coming pretty soon. I mean, there's serious things here. We got a pipeline that's going to pollute the Mississippi River. There's serious things here. We got cops getting shot everywhere. We got basically race riots on the street and a social breakdown of order. There's serious issues here. We got religious wars on our land now. Why isn't the mainstream media talking about what's going on in Wisconsin, where these jihadist psychopaths is taking over towns? Why don't they talk about that? Who cares who calls? Who cares what's they name calling and all this stuff? Let's get back to the issues. Let's get back to the things that are important for you and me in our lifetimes. Why are they not talking about what's going to happen with the United States Supreme Court? Whoever the next president is, for the next 40 years, the Supreme Court is going to get planted with whoever the next president is, their choice. It's either going to be ultra-conservative or independently conservative, or it's going to be totally left-wing liberal, off-the-chart socialist liberal. Why aren't we talking about that? You know, I mean, where is the journalism? Where are the journalists out there? Where are they? They're gone. Journalism is dead. It's over with. Benghazi is not done yet. More hacked emails from Clinton just came out. Was got Benghazi stuff in it. Pence is going to talk to some of the Benghazi survivors, the families of some of the 4 that were killed. The State Department is still dealing with it. The DOJ is still dealing with it. Gowdy is still fighting for more information and getting down to it, trying to find out what happened, all those questions we just heard. That was a little bit older, but none of that has been answered. None of it. Very little. There are people that died in Benghazi, and there's reasons why they did. How can the mainstream media just kind of candy-coated over it? Why didn't somebody dig? Why doesn't somebody dig that has the connections and the networks and the deep throats to find out? Like in Watergate, for those of you who weren't alive. They broke into Watergate. President Nixon was running for his second term. And they broke into Watergate. Okay? And they got caught by a security guard. And all the guys got arrested. All the president's men got arrested. They all did jail time. And it was such an embarrassment. And they broke the law. And the reason why, they were, you know what office they broke into? The DNC. They were looking for special secret documents to try to go after the party member who was running against President Nixon. You see, there was journalism then. And it was journalism that found that out. There was a character called Deep Throat. And we really don't know who Deep Throat really was. There's some speculation who Deep Throat was a couple of years ago when they died. But Woodward and his partner, who wrote the book, All the President's Men, broke it. But here's the point. It was journalism, investigative, hardcore. Put your feet on the ground. Wear out some shoe leather. Journalism. Threats to their lives. But the First Amendment was what was important to them. To get the story. to watch our country, to watch our politicians. And Nixon resigned. Before he was impeached, he resigned. And Gerald R. Ford became the president the last couple of years. So what happened to that type of journalism? Why? Is the American public that stupid? Are we that dumb? Are we that thick-headed? Do we really don't care anymore? I mean, is it come down to that we really don't care? We don't care to know the truth? We're so engulfed in the fantasies of our life. We're so engulfed in the big screen TV and the NFL football game and who won the last MMA fight. We're so engulfed about Kardashians and Miley Cyrus and the music shows. Are we so engulfed in that? Is that's what we've come down to as an American public? We don't care? Well, it sure seems that way, doesn't it? Because you get what you pay for. You get what you put in. And we sure have gotten it. Look what we've got to vote for. We've gotten it big time. We've gotten it so many times that, like they say in prison, lips are lips. It don't matter. We're getting it every day because we don't care. But I think it's beyond that. I don't even think we know to care anymore as a mass population of people. I don't even think we think about caring. I think we just accepted the bar being lowered. I mean, what has happened to our people that we can allow this type of stuff to go on in our society? What happened to the men? What happened to the real men? I'm talking about real men who used to stand up and be something, stand up and stand for something, and not just your fancy car and your nice, beautiful, big splash of a watch. What happened to the men of America? Let's not even talk about women. Let's just talk about men. What happened to the ability to defend your family and your home and your street and your neighborhood? What have we turned into? A bunch of people that don't care and a bunch of pansy-wansies? It blows my mind. It just blows my mind. And it's Benghazi. People died. That could have been your son, your daughter. And whoa, then you want the world to cry with you and cry for you. And whoa, then you get involved. And whoa, then you start the nonprofit organization. And whoa, you do something in the name of your child. What about before? What about standing up and saying, you know something? It's my watch. And on my watch, it stops. It doesn't go any farther. And I'm willing to put it on the line. See, we've been really let down by our spiritual leaders, let down by our educational system, let down by our legal system, let down by our sports systems for youth, let down by our police, let down by our city councils, let down by our mayors, our state assembly people and senators, our congressmen, our nation senators, and the president and our judicial system. We've been let down. And it's our fault because the people represent the country. The country is representative of the people. How your people are is how your country is going to be. And this is why we're at this juncture. This is why we have the weakest military since the 1960s, Navy-wide. This is why our equipment is old. This is why we have old Humvees. Okay? This is why we don't have the latest military equipment for our GIs and our Marines. This is why we have our streets falling apart and our inner cities that look like bomb shelters. This is why we have such division in this country, because we've let it down. We've let this happen to ourselves. Somebody's head should be rolling for Benghazi by now. Somebody should not be making excuses and sidestepping. The buck's got to stop somewhere. Somebody needs to stand up and say the buck stops with me. Nixon did. For all the evilness you think he was, he stood up and he said, I resign. I'm not going to be impeached. I resign before impeachment could happen. Accepted the accountability of his actions. He broke the law. Our president breaks the law all the time. The Bushes broke the law all the time. The Clintons broke the law all the time. In fact, they broke the law so much that it made him $170 million or more or less. Is it just about money? Is it just about fame? Is it just about the glory of being on top? Is it just about keeping the power? Is it just about, don't you have enough? It boggles the mind. Benghazi has not been solved. The emails have not been solved. Nothing's been solved. We're wasting maybe billions of dollars in these investigations, and they're amounting to nothing. The system is rigged. And the system is rigged now to the point that it's almost impossible to unrig it. The purity of America, and one of the things, maybe it was just a fantasy. Maybe there was no purity in America. Maybe it was just a big falsehood, a bunch of liars that started in the 18th century. Maybe America is no good. Maybe America should fail. Maybe our country should just dissolve and be destroyed. Maybe we should have attacking armies kill us all. Maybe we should just rip down our society and let it be free in chaos and anarchy. Maybe America is such a hateful society and people hate each other so much just because the pigment of our color is different, our skin, and our religious understanding is different. And you live on that side of the tracks, and I live on this side of the tracks, and you drive that car, and I drive this. Maybe we should just say, screw it. Ain't no good. We ain't never been no good. And we never will be. Why don't we just join the order of the world? Let's be just like Haiti. Let's be just like, Libya. Everybody loves Libya so much. Let's be just like the Muslim Brotherhood. Come on. Why don't we move to Israel and just be like them and have nothing but enemies around us and buses blowing up all the time in the Gaza Strait? Let's just do that. Why don't we move to Saudi Arabia, ladies, and you have to wear a burqa and you can't drive anymore. And your husband can rape you anytime he wants. Nothing can be done. And, oh, by the way, we could probably go to, Somalia and be just like them and live in those beautiful beach houses in Somalia. Let's do that. I'm sure they have some resort towns in Somalia. They probably have, we could go on the tour and watch where Black Hawk went down. Watch the helicopter there and the dead skeletons of American men. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just tell Putin, come on in? Yeah, anyway, you guys owned Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and the Northwest Territory of Canada and Alaska in the 18th century anyway, in the 19th century. That was all yours. It was. I think that we should just have open borders like Hillary Lion Witch Clinton. We should. There's 600 million people, not counting Americans, in the North American hemisphere. I think we should just have open borders and have no passports and have no rules or regulations. That's it. Just let it have a free-for-all, like Ted Nugent, free-for-all. I have no problem with that. Look I'll strap on my gun. I'll strap on my AR-15. I got no problem walking around with that. No problem. I'll fight you for bread and milk and eggs in that world. Why not? Huh? Let's just do that. Let's become like the rest of the world. I like that idea. I really do. I think that we should forget about health care. I think that everybody should just have free health care, and the doctors and nurses and hospitals don't make any money. That's what I think. Forget it. Prescriptions should be free, and that's it. We should have the best, just like Russia and Canada and England, where they have to wait for sometimes years to get something done. That's what I think. I think that we should all have a home. Every person in America has a right to own a house, and we should give it to you for free. And forget about the power companies and paying utility bills. Everybody should just have their own utility bills, right? Why not? Let's just do that. Let's be like the rest of the world. I think that'd be great. I think that we should have lots of Starbucks coffee houses, and we should have, instead of the NFL, we should have the weekend of blowing things up. Then we can invite all the terrorist buddies. We can smoke some of the hookah stuff, and we can drink their drinks, and they can drink ours, and we can set satchel bombs all around all the malls and amusement parks and Starbucks, and watch bodies get blown up into bits and pieces and go have a party. That's what I think. Why not? That's what's happening in Germany and France. Hey, have you seen Sweden or Norway lately? They're burning mosques. I think we should have a weekend of burning religious centers. How many churches in Christ can we burn to the ground? And then maybe on Sunday we could burn some mosques. We can't forget about our Chinese brothers. We got to burn some Buddha, baby. Let's do that. Why not? America sucks so hard. I'm sick and tired of hearing the complaints of how bad this country is. I'm sick and tired of hearing everybody whine and whine and whine. And the wine don't even taste good. Tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the corporate aristocracy that just brainwashed us all to think that we have to have an Xbox to get off. I'm sick and tired of thinking that every 25-year-old has to have a brand new Camaro that costs $29,000. I'm sick and tired of everybody whining that the dot-com blow-up in the 90s took their pension away. Okay, it did. So what? What are you going to do about it? You going to lay down? Or are you going to get up? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing this political diatribe. This just poop coming out of these guys and gals' mouths. Double talking, sidestepping, over the top, underneath. The perfect answer by not answering the answer. The perfect question by not answering the question or asking the question. It's just such a silly, stupid game. I think we should just go the other way. Just go the other end. I think in California, we should pass 57 and open up. We should give every prisoner in California, especially the guys that are on death row, we just give them a key and they can go out and have a Saturday afternoon and fun. We'll trust them. They'll come back. Yeah, I like that idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. With open door policy, we won't have to worry about immigration, illegal immigration. Hillary is right. We won't have to worry about illegal immigration. But then we won't have to worry about jobs either. Right. What the hell? Who cares whether the car's made in Mexico or Detroit? I'm sure the people in Detroit don't care. Their city looks like Nagasaki or Hiroshima after World War II or Berlin. Sure, they don't care. I'm sick and tired of hearing the BS. This Khan family dude, hey, his son died being a hero. Hey, when he got on that stage and politicized it, he's fair game. Hey, he just got $350,000 by the Clinton Foundation. Bet you didn't know that one. Mainstream media isn't talking about it. Tired of the hypocrisy of it all. Nobody tells the truth anymore. Nobody stands up and says, yeah, I did it and I'll pay for it. Everybody thinks, oh, how can I scoot around it? How can I get around it? How can I not? You know, what happened? What happened to you men? I was watching a great movie over the weekend. Shane, come back, Shane. You have no idea what I just did. It's an Alan Ladd movie called Shane. Made in 1953. And the lessons in that movie that were taught to that little boy by the movie and the story, the understory, it was just so beautiful. What happened? What happened to my town in Sun Valley in the 91352 zip code where there is just nothing but crap? Literally, I'm not kidding you. We got Hobo Junction, man. We got Homelessville. And they got RVs parked on the side of the road by dozens, and they're so filled full of crap and urine, it's bursting out the side on the street. And I know 6 encampments like that. Man, why aren't we talking about that, Mr. and Mrs. Journalism? We're not talking about it because, like my friend on Facebook here earlier on, hey, saying hi to Robert. What's happening, Robert? Betty Cooper. Saying hi to Marie, Mama T. Thank you very much. Saying hi to Craig. Thanks a lot for having us on, buddy. Saying hi to Pro Coaching. Yes, I like that. Pro Coaching. Thanks a lot, Ricky Pickney Jr. having us on. So many people checking into the Jesse T Show. Appreciate that. Saying hi to my buddy Carl Van Meter. Thanks a lot, Carl, for checking in. Appreciate that. Letting us know where you're calling from. Letting us know where you're checking in from.
It is I who should be thanking you.
Somebody should be thanking me. The point is, journalism is gone. And we're left. We're left with a variety show. It's a vaudeville show. And in vaudeville, you never want to follow the animal show because you can't win. And you never want to follow the show that has the great little kids that are singing and dancing. Yeah, and they're 5.5 years old because you might as well just go home if you follow that act. And you never want to follow the little people because when you got 10 little people running around the stage chasing something, you can't follow that either. We're like a vaudeville show. That's what's happened in this country. I'll tell you what. I am not going to go that way. The way I'm going to go, I'm going to go out fighting. I'm going to go out ripping and roaring. I'm going to go out fighting the problems. I'm going to go out trying to save our country, trying to be somebody who understands that we're all just people. We're just people. I was down at the Taste of Soul in Los Angeles. There were about 50,000 people down there. I don't know, 80,000 people. It was so packed. Man, food, music, bike shows, car shows, gospel music, blues music, R&B music, hip-hop music, tall people, short people, heavy people, skinny people, old people, young people, people. Just masses, amounts of people for 10 blocks. It was unbelievable. What a great time. What a great time. Just people. But you know, all those people were African Americans. And I was the only guy, wherever I was at, that it's not. Was I treated any differently? No. Did I treat anybody any differently? No. But then the next day I went to Sherman Oaks, and I went to their street festival. And you know something? I didn't count 5 African Americans. And they had about 30,000 people out there too. And as I was standing at the Chevron station on Ventura and Van Nuys Boulevard, I looked amongst the crowd and I said, there's something friggin' wrong here. There's something wrong here. That's our problem. Nobody understands that we're just people. Unbelievable. And mainstream media, you are the contributors to all evil and satanic forces. Because you don't report the truth. You don't report the truth. You don't even report anything. You create a magical mystery tour. And we all bite into it. I'm going to go out fighting. I'm going to go out not like a sheeple, that's sheep and people. I'm going to go out fighting. Play this thing for me, Lee. Check this out, you guys. Something I found on the internet. It's about wolves.
Howls. And we are going to keep doing them until we see Kenai's nose go up in the air. When you see his nose go up in the air, kind of quiet your voice down. We're going to see if we can hear his beautiful Arctic wolf howl. But Kenai likes to chit-chat a little bit, so he doesn't want to stop there. He wants to howl a couple times back and forth, so we'll keep it going. Are you guys willing? All right, let's try it out.
Beautiful wolf. Here he goes. Listen to that beautiful voice. humans are talking to wolves. Those are humans? That's the wolf. Let me tell you something. It's over with. Let me tell you something. Hit the music. Are we just about done? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If humans, no, a little bit lower. If humans can talk to wolves, and wolves can talk to humans, and our Main Street media quits trying to sell us a bunch of friggin' lies and create hatred and animosity and does their job, then we can all howl like wolves and wolf men and wolf women and not be sheeples. Won't you howl with me? On three. I'm howling, baby. 1, 2, 3. That's my wolf woman and my wolf man. Let's be wolves and take our country back. Ow! The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya! Ow!